Mr. Strange presents true tales of terror from Liverpool's past, the curse beneath Blackburn House. You can walk past Blackburn House today on Hope Street, right in the heart of Liverpool, and never think twice. You'll see a clean Georgian facade, students coming and going, a woman's education centre, a building with a future. But beneath that tidy history, something rotten lies buried. This is the story of a ghost ship, a crew doomed by greed, and an object not of this world, said to grant your heart's deepest desire, at a price. In 1778, a privateer vessel called the Isabella Wraith set sail from Liverpool, bound for the Caribbean. Its captain was a man called the Crow, a man so feared that crew signed on in blood just to join him. No flag, no questions. They never expected to come back, but almost a year later they did. Only the ship wasn't the same. It limped into the docks in silence, sails torn, hull scorched, and barely a soul alive on board. 7 men survived out of 40. Dock workers said the ship felt wrong, ice cold, even in July. Cargo holds empty except for one thing, a single iron chest lashed in chains and sealed with wax. Too heavy for 3 men to lift, it pulsed with a warmth like living skin. They say it was taken inland that same night. No records, no customs. Its destination, John Blackburn, salt baron, landowner, and soon to be builder of a grand house on Hope Street. And that box was said to contain the object that made his fortune, and cursed his name forever. The survivors spoke of what they'd found on the hidden island off the coast of Dominica. Something buried in a stone temple, a black metallic object, round like a skull, heavy like iron, but warm, humming and alive. A piece of ancient sky, a meteorite, fallen to earth before man walked upright. Some local tribes believed it was the heart of a god. Others said it was a prison, a vessel that absorbed the thoughts of whoever held it and made them real, manifesting their thoughts into reality. Wealth, love, power, vengeance, whatever you wanted, it gave. But the price, the cost was always blood. Of the 40 crew who boarded that ship, only 7 survived. Some exploded into madness at sea. One leapt screaming into the water, shouting about eyes in the sky. Another was found in the hold, face torn off, as if he tried to claw something out of his own skull. The ones who lived said the object was aware. It spoke, but not with words. It responded, showed you things, promised you things. Some saw gold, some saw loved ones return from the dead. But those who held it with greed in their hearts were never the same again. Those survivors were raving, starved, and soaked in black tar that wouldn't wash off. Dockhands found one thing of value on board, a sealed iron chest, warm to the touch, wrapped in chains, marked with symbols nobody could read. It was delivered under the cover of night to a man of wealth and ambition, Mr. John Blackburn. He was the man that had funded the expedition from the beginning. Once Mr. Blackburn had received his award, his wealth began to triple. Blackburne House was built in 1788, right on Hope Street, the city's heart. And from the moment construction began, the deaths started. Surveyors, builders, gardeners, all dead under strange, often gruesome circumstances. One was crushed by stone that hadn't moved. Another drowned in 3 inches of clean water in a locked attic. Those who survived spoke of men floating through walls, soaked from head to toe, trailing seaweed and rusted chains. The dead crew, perhaps, or something worse. And through it all, Blackburn grew richer. His salt empire exploded, his family's name etched into Liverpool's elite. But behind locked doors, he never slept through a single night again. Here's where it gets darker. In 1952, during post-war reconstruction, engineers discovered a sealed sub-basement beneath Blackburn House. One they hadn't expected. Inside, they found rusted chains, scorched floor tiles, and signs of something unnatural. The site was quietly closed off, but records show that MI5 agents arrived days later, posing as historians. They interviewed staff, took blueprints, brought in radiation equipment. Whatever was in that chamber, they didn't like it. Local builders claimed a small sphere-shaped object was extracted under armed escort and taken to a facility outside of Reading. But just weeks later, the entire wing of that facility burned down. The official report was an electrical fault, but eyewitnesses, scientists later spoke in whispers of hallucinations, objects floating, dreams bleeding into reality. One researcher in a care home years later scrawled this in a journal. The object wants something. It waits. It reflects you. And if you ask it for anything, it will show you the cost. The ministry sealed the file, but they couldn't stop the hauntings because Blackburn House was already soaked in its influence. To this day, the staff at Blackburn House speak of a man in naval-like clothing from the 1700s, much like a pirate, seen drifting through the east wing. Always the same drenched, eyes glowing faintly green, hands out as if begging or warning. Lights flicker, books move. Children feel watched. One night, a group of students walked into the dark corridor and saw a figure floating in midair. His feet never touched the floor. He simply pointed at the wall where an old blueprint say the meteorite once was kept, and then vanished. Another story, a former caretaker claimed he found a girl in the basement during a power cut. She looked at him and said,
"Let me see her. He said she's not far. He just wants me to ask."
There were no children in the building that night, just the caretaker and the door to the old sub-basement ajar. People say the object's still somewhere in Liverpool, maybe buried, maybe hidden in another building entirely, or maybe it's still watching from beneath Blackburn House. And if you ever stand outside that building after midnight and feel the air go still and the lights inside flicker orange, don't wish for anything, because the moment you want something, it hears you. And once it gives, it never gives it for free. These days, people wear crystals around their necks. They carry moon-charged stones in their pockets, rose quartz for love, obsidian for protection, amethyst for peace. And some say if you hold the right stone with the right intent, it'll change something inside you, shift your energy, unlock something deeper. But the thing found aboard the Isabella's wraith wasn't like that. It was no delicate crystal or polished pebble. It was raw, heavy, a dark veined sphere that felt warm in the hand, like it was breathing, like it could feel you thinking. And unlike crystals, it didn't heal. It reflected you, amplified you. And if you're pure of heart, it gave you peace, a vision of lost loved ones, moments of impossible joy. But if you were greedy, it twisted that desire into horror, gave you everything you asked for, and then took everything else. Blackburne House, a place of progress, built on death, haunted by 7 drowned souls, and one ancient object that does not sleep. This has been Mr. Strange. Sleep well, Liverpool.